Hello, my name is Les Brown. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about the mindset of the entrepreneur. You know, it took a friend of mine 14 years to convince me to do what I'm doing right now. I kept putting it off. You know why? Because I didn't believe in myself. I don't have a college education. And I felt that even though he believed in me and I didn't believe in myself, I felt inferior to people with college educations. He kept saying to me, Les, you can do more than be a disc jockey. I was a radio personality in Columbus, Ohio. And all the occasions that we got together, he would always continue to come back to me again and again and again. In fact, I just asked him a few weeks ago, I said, look here, tell me, what made you stay in my ear? And he said, I just felt it was my duty. And you know, sometimes in life, you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Now, I don't know you, I can't even see you, but here's what I know about you, that you have something special. You have greatness within you. I can say that to you based upon my own experience. If anybody told me just getting started, so I don't know what you do, you might be selling a product, a service, you might have some skill or knowledge that people need right now. I don't know what you do, but here's what I know. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. If anybody told me just having the courage to get started, that it was possible that I could earn more, that I can touch people's lives, that I could do things that I didn't even realize that I could do, I can just tell you right now, one of the things that you have to do is just decide, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. I remember once going to an event and they had a variety of motivational speakers there. And one of the guys that opened for Zig Ziglar, he was quiet, he had low energy, he didn't have any personality. In fact, he was boring. The audience is quiet as a graveyard between funerals. And I remember going to sleep and the audience woke me up with polite applause. And I said, man, he was boring. I did not know at that time I was seated next to his brother-in-law. And he said, you ought to be that boring and make the kind of money he made. I said, well, how much did he make? He said, $5,000. I looked at my watch. I said, $5,000. I said, I know I could do that. Has that ever happened to you? That you saw somebody do something, you say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And from that time to this time, I'll never forget something that he said. The speaker on the platform, he said, I know that I don't have personality and passion and energy. I know that I'm boring. He said, but the reason I'm standing up here and you're seated out there is because I represent the thoughts you have rejected for yourself. Whoa, man, when he said that, that hit me dead between the eyes, because I remember saying to myself, I can't do that. I don't have a college education. I can't do that, Mike. I've never worked for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, IBM, Xerox. I can't compete with those guys out there. I don't have the resources. I don't have a 4-color brochure. Had all of these excuses. I remember one day I was talking to him and the line went dead. And I called him back. I said, hey, Mike. I said, we lost the signal. He said, we didn't lose the signal. I said, what happened? He said, I hung up. I said, well, why would you do that? He said, you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. I said, oh my God. He said, you better hope I win this conversation. I said, okay, talk to me. And I tell you, I'm so glad that he did that. From that time to this time, I've traveled around the world. From that time to this time, I went from earning $50 an hour to $25,000 an hour because I got started. From that time to this time, I went from just speaking locally to speaking around the world and getting over $125,000 an hour. I had no idea. There are things that you're going to be able to do that eye has not seen, ear has not heard. There are things that you have in you that you don't even know, but until you get outside of your comfort zone, you will never discover it. You have something special. You have greatness within you. But in order to manifest your greatness, you've got to put yourself in a perpetual state of discomfort. Yes, you've got to challenge yourself. You've got to raise the bar on yourself. You've got to get busy. You've got to work your plan. Even if you've got a job right now, you've got to work yourself out of it. You've got to have an exit date where you say, hey, I've had it. It's time for me to do me, to pursue my dream, to work my plan, to implement the things that I want for myself and for my family and for for my kids. And what is your legacy? What do you want to do for yourself? In my case, I wanted to be able to take care of my mother. I'm adopted. And I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. My mother adopted 6 kids. And along with me, that made 7. And she was a domestic worker on Miami Beach. And I said, Mama, she said, what is it, Leslie? One day, when I become grown, I'm going to buy your home. I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. I bought my mother the first home, 10,000 square feet, had a 12-foot deep Olympic-sized swimming pool on a golf course. And I would have never been able to do that had I not got started with my dream. And so at the end of the day, you have something special. You're watching this right now for a reason, because you have something of value. This is your time. And as you begin to look at yourself and look at your goals and look at your dreams, decide that you're going to focus on your strength. What is it you want to do? And decide that you're going to master that you can say to yourself, I got this. This is my space. And when you do that, when you find something that is your passion, that turns you on, when you do that to the best of your ability, they said that success is doing what you love to do. You do it so well that people pay you to do it. That's what I do as a speaker. You know, I love to talk. And so I find people to pay me to talk to them. And so you want to have a good time. You want to enjoy yourself. And you want to get out of your fear and just become bold. I believe leap and grow your wings on the way down. Absolutely. Well, I don't know what to do. Well, just get started. If you turn right, if you're running in the wrong direction, just turn around and you'll be going in the right direction. Just get started doing what you're supposed to do. Get busy. And you'll be surprised at the breakthrough. You'll be surprised at how things begin to come together for you. I had no idea. I had no idea. So I want to leave this with you. You have something special. The world is waiting. There are customers that are waiting for your services, for your product, for your ideas, for your skills, for your expertise. It's time for you to show up. Absolutely. Stand up for your dream. Stand up for your business. Make it happen. This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. You've got greatness within you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hello, my name is Les Brown. Once again, I want to talk to you about the mindset of the entrepreneur. And I want to talk to you about telling your story. See, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to tell your story. Every time that I speak as an entrepreneur, I have to tell my story. And why is that important? Because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So when you tell your story, people get a chance to know you. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she's going to give a presentation in Jamaica. So I said, tell me your story. So she said, well, I was an assistant principal for 25 years. And I said, and what do you do now? She said, well, I've retired and I'm refired. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, well, I retired from being an assistant principal, but to me, retirement means fading away. So now I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I teach people how to put together travel packages, I'm a travel agent, and I help people to begin to add more adventure to their lives. I said, very good. And so then she went on to talk about her education. I said, well, first of all, I said, here's what I want you to know. As an entrepreneur, and this is what you're doing, you're going to be talking to people to attract customers. I said, let me give you some points about what it is you need to do in order to attract more customers and for people to want to say, I want to do business with you. I says, number one, start off telling them who you are and why you do what you do. And why is this important? Because when people hear you speak as an entrepreneur, when you are presenting yourself, people are asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? So I told Cynthia, I said, Cynthia, if I were you, here's how I would open up. Hello, how many of you have goals you want to achieve? Raise your hands. Very good. Let me share something with you. One of the things that I want you to do right now is think about your goals. I used to be an assistant principal for over 20 years, and I decided after retiring, I was not just going to fade away. I wanted to do something else. And I put together travel groups for people to travel around the world to live their dreams. And now I'm an author and I'm a speaker. And this is something that I enjoy doing. This is something that turns me on. What turns you on? because what I want to do is show you how you can begin to see the world on your terms from a perspective that will add more zest to your life. Helen Keller said, life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. And so my husband and I, we are looking for people who want to live a daring life, who are looking for some adventure. And I said, you got to make it exciting for people and give them an experience. See, as an entrepreneur, we've got to be strategic with our story, and we've got to be experiential. Strategic, what do you mean? Because what we're doing is distract, dispute, and inspire. People already have a mindset about what it is that they want. When you tell your story as an entrepreneur about your product, about your skills, or about your business, you're disrupting the story that's already in their head, maybe about somebody else that they're already dealing with, or they're looking at someone else. And so what you want to do is interrupt that story with your story so they don't look anyplace else, so they'll know that you are the one. And through your presentation, you dismantle their belief system and begin to encourage them in the process of your presentation to create a thirst for you, for what it is you do. There's no saying you can take a horse to the water, you can't make him drink. However, through telling your story strategically and experientially, that you will begin to not only expand their minds about the possibilities about what it is you provide, but you create a thirst for what it is that you provide, where they want to. That's what you want to create, the want to, where they want to do business with you. I never forget, I was going to hire a guy to be my CPA, and at the door when he greeted me, he shook my hand, and the way he turned and walked down the hall, he said, I'm excited about how we're going to take your business to the next level. He had already closed me. We hadn't even pulled out the contract yet, but there was a mindset and a spirit of, I got you, buddy. You're up in my space right now. I own this space. And so as an entrepreneur, when you tell your story, you want to tell it with confidence. And you want, when you speak, you want to have a level of confidence and competence about what it is that you are speaking on. You want to know your story. You want to know the story about your competition. You want to know the marketplace. So when the person speaks to you, they know this is who you are. You got this. And when you do that, let me share something with you. They'll leave there, as Mother Teresa would say, in a spirit of, I know I'm in the right place. They'll leave there ready to write a new chapter in their lives with you as their strategic partner, because you're going to take their business to the next level. Your story is important. One of the things that I love most about dealing with technology and Kajabi and telling a story, that what it took me years to do, it take you a fraction of that time. Now, getting started, looking for ways in which you can take your game to the next level, being unstoppable and relentless, looking for ways in which you can win, how you can snatch victories from the jaws of defeat, being the kind of person that's always looking for ways in which you can push the envelope on yourself. That's the name of the game today. And this era, what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's, accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. You got to run just to stand still. If you're serious about winning, you're going to be looking for ways in which you can study and know your customers extremely well and begin to look at how is it that you can provide the kind of service that make you stand out in their minds. I'm reminded of a woman who became a dominant voice in her industry, and she was asked the question, what is it that you can point to that allowed you to become successful? And she said, it's not our intention to please our customers or to satisfy our customers. Our intention is to amaze them. See, when you are looking at your customers and looking for ways in which you can amaze them with your story, with your expertise, with your knowledge, with your follow-through, with the quality of the service that you provide, that's how customers vote with their dollars, because of the service that you provide and because of your keeping your word. They did a study to find out, what does customer service mean to the average person? And they said, reliability. Can we count on you? Will you keep your word? Will you operate with integrity? Will you honor your word as yourself? Can we count on you? You have something special. What's the story around your business? What is it about you? When people ask, who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? What is it about you and how you present yourself that will cause them to say, I want to do business with you. I've been looking for you. You are the answer to my problem. Think about it. You have something special. You have greatness within you. That's my story, and I'm still sticking to it. Hello, this is Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I want to talk to you about the mindset of the entrepreneur and what it takes for you to win in your business. When I started out in business, and I think all entrepreneurs have to do this, I had to find a way that would make me stand out. What is it about you, about what it is that you provide, that will make you stand out from the competition? In my particular case, I noticed that most speakers had memorized scripts. And so I said, wait a minute, what is it that can make me stand apart? One, I read 2 to 3 books a week, and so I train myself to speak extemporaneously. The other thing is, I train myself to custom design my presentation. Rather than just going in and doing an information dump, I train myself to ask the customer questions to find out what their needs were, and then I fit my presentation to answer their needs. And all that I get understanding. Look at yourself. What is it that's different about you? Make yourself stand out. Henry David Thoreau said, do not go where the path may lead. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. When you find out what is it about your service, about your delivery of your things that you're providing, your skills, your knowledge, your products, when you find ways to do that in a special way. I remember I was in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was going to give a presentation, and the gentleman who picked me up in the limousine, when I came outside, I've never had this happen to me before. He went and he got my luggage and baggage claim, and as we were walking toward the limousine, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he pulls out this carpet, and he rolled out a carpet in front of me. I say, whoa. And so he said, I want to give you red carpet treatment. Come on now. He said, every time you come back to Cincinnati, I want you to know my name. I said, you got me, you got me. And then when we pulled up to the place, he got out and he opened the door and he threw the carpet out again. I will never forget that. That's been over 16 years. And every time I come back to Cincinnati, I asked for Jonathan. I want to know, is he here? His name was Jonathan White. And so what is it that's unique about you? Whenever I give a presentation, I find out the theme. I find out what are the 5 things you want your audience to walk away with. I'll talk to the people that are promoting the event, and then I'll talk to the people that's in the audience, and then I will marry that. Now, why do you do that? Well, in order to be successful in business, and people are voting with their dollars, you've got to be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Most people won't do that. It's much easier to come in and just regurgitate some information. See, if information can change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. So my goal is to create an experience for people. When you touch their minds and you touch their hearts, they will remember you. They have emotional memory. And so what are the triggers you can provide for your customers that will keep you in their minds? Following them up. Even if they said no, because they said no today does not mean they will say no tomorrow. You've got to follow up again and again and say, look here, I was just thinking about you. We were talking the other day and you mentioned something. I found this article. I thought maybe it would be of some value for you. One of the things that I think that's very important is that you give before you ask. I remember when I wanted to become a disc jockey, and I did volunteer work for the disc jockeys. When they would come out into the parking lots, their cars would be waxed and clean inside out. And they said, hey, who did this? Oh, I did, sir. How much you going to charge, young man? Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanted to help out. Here's what I was doing. Building relationships, giving before I ask. You've got to give before you ask, creating value. I just wanted to get my foot in the door. I wanted them to know that I was serious. There's a friend of mine, he calls himself Billionaire PA. Now, PA stands for Personal Assistant. Now, he sees himself as a billionaire. And what he does is that he sells T-shirts in the corner of Los Angeles, and he sells over 5,000 a year. But he's also a personal assistant. He said, in my mind, I'm not a personal assistant. I'm a billionaire. I'm building my own business. I bought a T-shirt from him. At the time I bought the T-shirt from him, he reached in a bag and he pulled out a camera. Everybody who buys a T-shirt from him, he videotapes them, his new customer, and he sends out 5 videos a day. He says, man, I'm going to touch 1 billion people. I say, get out of here. Now, here's a guy that he was an ex-offender. He was turned down for over 125 jobs. He went to college. He got a degree in marketing, and he got another degree in business. And he couldn't find a job because he's an ex-felon. And one day his mother called him, and he answered the phone. He said, I don't look for jobs, I create them. And on that particular day, he decided to create some T-shirts with special slogans on them. God's on my team, who's on yours? He was sleeping in his car. He was homeless, but now he has his own home. Now he has staff. Now he's going to be a part of a commercial that will be at the Super Bowl in 2013. Billionaire PA. Looking for ways in which he can serve his customers, looking for ways where he can stay out front, looking for ways that he can make it happen no matter what. Now think about you. You have more than Billionaire PA. You have more resources. You have a technology team that can provide for you with innovative, creative thinking, anything you need to tell your story more effectively and get it around the globe. It's available to you right now. Think about yourself. Think about your goals. Think about your dreams. What is it that you can do? What kind of experience can you create for your customers that will allow them to pass the word about you, that will allow them to think about you when they have needs, when they're looking for someone to help them to resolve their problems? When you think about today's marketplace, it's more challenging than ever before. But we're living in a time that we know anything's possible. You have something special. It's possible that you can live your dream. It's possible that you can carve out a strategy that will allow you to do market takeaways, that you can become the dominant voice in your industry. And it's necessary that you hold yourself to a higher standard. It's necessary that you incorporate technology and your story and your imagination for looking for ways in which you can take your business to the next level and create a unique experience for your customers, because you have an energy signature that will cause people to think about you. And it's you. George Bernard Shaw said the people that make it in this life, they look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. It's you. You've got to take responsibility for what it is you want. And it's hard. Easy is not an option. It's easy to quit. It's easy to come up with excuses. It's easy to become frustrated. It's easy to throw in the towel on yourself. But I had a mentor who said, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. It's hard not to give yourself a pass. It's hard when you've been rejected again and again and again to come back. It's hard when you run out of money and run out of ideas and people disappoint you, to pick yourself up and say, I'm going to make it happen in spite of. It's hard. But you got to find out what will make it worth it for you. What's your why? Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. You have something special. You've got greatness within you. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. You owe it to the people that believe in you to make it happen. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I'll see you, as Zig Ziglar would say, at the top or from the top. Oh, behave.